Proving Globe Earth has zero measurable curvature. Part 2. By James Mann. This platform is 125 feet above sea level. It matches the lighthouse light at 125 feet above sea level, plus it shows that the top of the fence at this spot is about 127 feet above sea level.
Let's look over here at the fence right there. There's a platform there. That's the platform. I go right across here. I still see that fence. That fence is at about 127 feet above sea level. And this platform is 125 feet above sea level, matching the light. So that establishes the height of the light, which you can look up yourself, 125 feet above sea level. This platform matches with that, and that fence matches at about 127 feet. This is 125 feet.
In Part 1 I showed there is zero measurable curvature to Martin Head 21 miles away, Pangbourne Cliffs 36 miles away, St. Martin's 41 miles away, and the 400-foot hill behind Quaco Lighthouse 43 miles away, from Cape Enrage New Brunswick where my camera was at 127 feet above sea level. Now in Part 2 I will be at the same location, Cape Enrage, and I will be turning my camera 180 degrees looking 16, 19, 25 and 30 miles. My goal is to show you there is zero measurable curvature, looking over 73 miles of water on Fundy Bay. In Part 1 I showed there is zero measurable curvature to 43 miles, looking west from a 127-foot eye level. Today I will show you there is zero measurable curvature looking east to 30 miles. The closest location, 16 miles out, is the point at Rockport, New Brunswick. The second location is 19 miles out, and is part of Lower Cove, Nova Scotia. The third location is 25 miles out, and I think it's still part of Lower Cove. And at 30 miles out are the wind turbines near Amherst, Nova Scotia. I am starting with my camera at 127 feet above sea level. From 127 feet there would only be 3 feet of predicted curvature to that left point. The point on the right would have 18 feet of predicted curvature. Note, seeing both points going out toward the center prove there is zero measurable curvature to either of those points. The wall between those 2 points is 120 feet high at 25 miles out. That hill would have 83 feet of predicted earth curvature, looking from 127 feet above sea level. And the wind turbines 30 miles out have 175 feet of predicted curvature. Note that the turbine towers are mostly blocked by that 120-foot high hill. The point on the left is 16 miles from my camera, which is 127 feet above sea level at Cape Enrage, New Brunswick. The point on the right is 19 miles from my camera. The wall between the points is 25 miles away, at its highest point. And the wind turbines are 30 miles from Cape Enrage. Note that there is no curvature to the 16 or 19 mile points, as we can see the points going far out into the water. With my camera at 127 feet looking 16 miles the predicted curvature would only be 3 feet, at the 19 mile point there would be 18 feet of curvature, and to the wall at 25 miles there would be 83 feet of curvature. The wind turbines 30 miles away should have 175 feet of predicted curvature. Note, most of the turbine tower is blocked by that 120-foot high wall, so I will need to get much lower to debunk predicted curvature to the turbines.
Now here, based on the math that I've done, this right here, let's see, where was I sitting? Right over here. Yes, I've put a rock there before to sit on so that I could be down here. And my eye level, sitting here, is about 50 feet.
Now, having said my eye level is 50 feet, I would like to point out that Google Earth shows this spot as 114 feet above sea level. Note that the base of the lighthouse is 114 feet and it is at least 50 feet above my head. The tower is 29 feet from the top of the vent to the base at 114 feet above sea level. That is 60 feet below the base of the tower, putting my eye level, while sitting at the fence, at about 50 to 55 feet above sea level. Standing here, my eye level would be about 55 feet above sea level. Again, Google Earth shows this spot as 114 feet above sea level, the same height as the base of that lighthouse. Again, Google Earth shows this spot as 114 feet above sea level, the same height as the base of that lighthouse. And it gets worse, as you will see when I start walking.
Now I can't see Martin Head out there, but that's why I would be sitting here, is to look for Martin Head. I'm going to try to do this and then use dehaze at home. I can keep it. There it is right there, you can see it. There's Martin Head. Couldn't see that from the top there at 125 feet there. So maybe it's lifting and I'll be able to get some good stuff. Okay, let me get up here without falling or hurting myself. That, eh? Here, well, let me just start here. Standing here with the camera right at my eye level. I can't quite see over there. However, it's really close. Now I'm going to just start walking here. It's going uphill, but it's not going up very much of a rise. Well, from here, it's obviously 5.5, my eye level. As I start walking, I don't know if I can hold this steady and walk at the same time, but let's just see how long, see, I'm going to stumble already, how long it takes. This is 4 steps. I'll just move to the right, and that, hold on, sorry. 16 miles away to that point. The wall there in the middle of trees and hill is 25 miles away, 125 feet at its highest spot. And the turbines are 30 miles away, 300 feet to the turbine where the blades join. And I'm going to move a little bit more to my right, just to get past this bench. Not changing elevation. All right. That point is 19 miles away. And I'm going to set up my tripod, I'm a little too shaky. It's still chilly, and but it's beautiful. Okay.
My eye level is 60 feet above sea level. The point on the left is 16 miles, and should have 28 feet of curvature. The 125-foot hill, 25 miles from my camera, should be blocked by 160 feet of predicted curvature. The point on the right, 19 miles from my camera, should have 60 feet of predicted curvature. The wind turbines, 30 miles out, should have 280 feet of curvature. Earth curvature calculator predictions never match what we flat Earth researchers prove in reality, and in this case the calculators are wrong again.
Okay. You see that point? Still sticking out, like we saw from 125 feet. Again, that point is always hard to see, but I might be able to bring that out once I get home. Lighten it up or whatever. Okay. Now I'm going to walk up to where that sign is there. I'm going to carry the tripod. See if I can keep it kind of level. So here I'm walking up, I would say 5 feet. when I was back there at the fence. I'm 5'5" and I could not, or I'm 5'9", but my level's 5.5. So I'm just going to walk up to the bench. Yeah, there's so many flickers here this morning. That's amazing. Wow, that's a heavy camera when you start carrying it like this. Okay. Now, turn around. I just came up 5 feet from there. The lighthouse is still visible. It's just behind the corner there of the fence, or the steps. Okay, so this is supposed to be 114 feet above sea level, which we know isn't true. Because the lighthouse, the base of the lighthouse is 114 feet. Not only that, they say that this is 114 feet when it's 50 feet at the bottom of that fence. 50 feet. Now, notice we see that fence. I am going to start walking down here. But what I want to show you first is this is continuing to go downhill. All the way down here. It's downhill. All the way to the fence, which is right there behind those trees. Now that's going down at least 10 feet, I think. So it's certainly not 114 feet. Which again, 114 feet is at the base. Right about there, right about those rocks right there, the base of that lighthouse is 114 feet. The lighthouse is 29 feet high, and the light is 125 feet. So the lighthouse is 29 feet. I think those are probably robins there. There we go. Okay, so from here, I can still see that point going out. And that point is covered by seaweed, which means that when it's covered, that's no more than 22 feet high.
The yellow line is showing about where the seaweed line is. This is important because the seaweed has to be covered by water twice a day when the tide is in. The seaweed stops at about 22 feet. The predicted earth curvature is 28 feet, at the red line.
Back a little bit here. Again, I'll try to zoom in on this and fix that at home. I'm going to see if I can get that a little crisp more clear.
The point on the right at 19 miles now has to have 60 feet of predicted earth curvature, yet we still see well below that red line. And that disproves predicted earth curvature to that point. Again, showing earth curvature calculators do not match what we measure in reality.
Still see that point. Okay, here we go. Hopefully everything is tight so it doesn't fall. So this is going downhill. Just make sure the recorder's on. This is going downhill all the way. That's where we're coming from. Right there, okay. When I'm holding it up like this, I can't see the back screen, so I have to stop and take a look at it. It's hard to hold that up like that with one arm. set it down for a minute. Zoom in again. Loosen this. We'll look behind us.
I want to point out that the post at the red arrow is where I can no longer see over that high spot between me and the fence at 55 feet above sea level. This tells me that post is about 55 feet above sea level, the same as it was at the fence. And I am still going lower, again showing the heights are not correct on Google Earth.
And we'll just zoom back out there again. Takes me a second to locate it. I think that's it. Again, 16 miles to that point. 25 miles to that hill or wall. 19 miles to that point. And the turbines are 30 miles away, 300 feet high to the blade, or to the turbine where the blades join. Okay, tighten this up. Tighten that back up. And a few more steps before my arm wears out. Back before COVID, whoa, I just kicked that tripod with my leg. Yes, sometimes they would leave that gate open. And I could walk right down to sea level. Now the gate's closed all the time. Got to set it down again. But there's the gate. Loosen that back up so I can turn the camera. Okay. Just bring this back. And we are well below the lighthouse. Again, the base of the lighthouse is 114 feet, and the light is 125 feet. Okay. Go down to the fence, tighten this up again. That's the way there. Whoa, I kicked it again. I got the tripod fully extended and I keep hitting it with my leg, my foot. Yeah, that's the way up to the tower. Way up there. I think I'll go up there this morning, just so I can give you an overview of the, looking across the whole complex here. Now I'll stop here, because this is where when I get to the fence it's harder to see the, whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, so again, yeah, as soon as I get to the fence you can't see that. But I've come down here, I'm sure I've come down here 10 feet lower. And I'm going to take this off the tripod and try to see. Okay, get this around my neck. Now these trees block my view. When I first started with Flat Earth 6 years ago, those were not even there. But let's see. Cool thing about this is I can zoom through trees. And I'll do the math for this when I get home. We still see that point sticking out. That's 16 miles.
That was April 15, 2024. I crawled through an opening in the fence and walked down. The last section of steps were still not down. They pulled that section up so the winter ice and waves don't destroy it. I came back on April 24th and climbed through that hole in the fence again. This time the last section of fence was down, so I chose to use the video from the 24th, as I was able to get even lower.
I think I'm about 30 feet above sea level, maybe lower. "22 feet above sea level." Oh, first day they've had the gate down.
I am standing with an eye level of 27.5 feet, where those 300-foot high turbines should have 370 feet of predicted Earth curvature.
I think I'm about 10 feet off sea level now. I can still see the turbines. That's all I'm going to see, so I'm not going to go any further. Waited all winter for them to get that gate down, or the steps.
My eye level is 17.5 feet above sea level, looking 30 miles to the wind turbines that should have 412 feet of predicted Earth curvature. That would block the 300-foot high tower plus the 100-foot long vertical blades at 400 feet above sea level. Google Earth shows where I am standing is 114 feet above sea level, which is the same height as the base of that lighthouse. Well, that's the end of part 2. In conclusion, I show there is zero measurable Earth curvature to 16, 19, 25 and 30 miles, to match predictions made by Earth curvature calculators. In part 1 I showed there is zero measurable curvature to 21, 36, 41, and 43 miles, again showing Earth curvature calculators never match what we flat Earth researchers prove in reality. And remember, I was at Cape Enrage for both observations, 43 miles looking west and 30 miles looking east, without a single inch of predicted Earth curvature.